So a couple of weeks ago I showed you a Wendy House, kiddies Wendy House that we had bought for about £30 and I was in the process of turning it into a brooder hut for the chicks when they hatch. Well, I have just about finished it now, which is just as well because the chicks hatched last night. So let me show you around. So here's the brooder hut on the outside now, very nearly finished. It's got some finishing touches to do. I realised that rodents could actually get down there between the boards there, so I need to secure those. I'll be doing that later on today. I've turned up this wire. You'll recall that the base is made from hardcore. Hopefully you can see it in there. And then we put this wire on the top to stop rodents getting in. That needs to be secured. And we've now got power. I'll tidy it up a little bit. I'll explain what this orange material is up against the windows. It's actually insulation. You'll see that I've blocked off two of the windows inside just to add to the warmth. Again, that wire is going to be turned up and secured in place. So let me take you inside. So here we are inside the brooder hut. The first thing you'll notice is that I've got a heat lamp. Now, I'm not normally a big fan of heat lamps, I don't use them, but I'll explain why I'm using that in a minute. But first, let's look at the construction. You'll recall from the last video I put quite a lot of foil face insulation in the walls. I put some up on the roof there. Runs all the way around. I've even found some loft insulation, which is going behind these panels here. And then I've filled the inside with ply, including the floor, just to make it nice and secure. I've also put some silicone in the corners and in the joints for a couple of reasons. Firstly, to improve the draft proof facilities or qualities of the hut, but also for red mite. If I do get red mite, well, I doubt whether I will, but if I do, hopefully I'm going to be able to see them, and it gives them fewer places to hide. So the chicks are inside a brooder box. You can see it there. I don't know if you can actually see the chicks. I'll try and get you down there if I can. Let me just bend you a little bit. You can just about see them there. They are Legbar chicks. They were hatched about 24 hours ago. So there in the brooder box, I put a little bit of insulation on there just to increase the insulating properties of the box. They've got chick crumb in there, they've got water in there, and they've been in here for about 5 or 6 hours now, and they're doing fine. So the primary method of keeping the chicks warm is that brooder plate, which is what I normally use. However, I would normally use it inside the house, inside the spare room, but now we've obviously moved out to the brooder hut. And the issue with that is that the manufacturer's instructions says that the ambient temperature that brooder plate should be used in shouldn't go below 10 degrees. Well, last night in here it was 1 degree, so I needed to do something about it, which is where the heat lamp comes in. So what I've done is I've rigged up a thermostatic control system. You can see it here. So power comes into the hut there, goes to an extension which I've secured on the wall, and there's a couple of things plugged in there. The brooder plate is plugged into that extension, but so is this thermostatic control. Now, if you look at that there, what that's saying is that I've set the thermostatic control to 12 degrees. It's currently 18.9 degrees in here, so nice and warm, but at night it will get quite cold in here if I hadn't adopted this system. So what I've done is I have attached the heat lamp, which is currently off, there's nothing coming out of there at all, to this thermostatic control. And when the temperature reaches or goes below 12 degrees, it switches on the power to the heat lamp, which heats up the hut. It doesn't necessarily provide direct heat to the chicks. It's a little bit too high, but it acts as a heater just to bring the ambient temperature of the hut to above 10 degrees so that the brooder plate in there is working at its best temperature. Also, I'm probably going to change this to a red light because I've had it before where sometimes at night the chicks will kind of wander off. You see one there. If they come out at night and decide to go for a wander and it's dark, sometimes they won't be able to find their way back to the brooder box, and they end up in the corner here, and the temperature there is considerably less than what it is in the brooder box, and it can affect them. I've had them get very, very close to death before. I've had to pick them up and give them body warmth to recover them, and that has worked. So that's that system there. The heat lamp really is designed to bring the ambient temperature up inside the hut to at the moment 12 degrees, so that the brooder plate can work effectively and go from there. Just a quick over there, that temperature there, I've got a probe down inside roughly where the chicks are, so that's 18 degrees outside of the brooder plate. Underneath it, it'll be considerably warmer. That sensor there is sensing the general temperature of the room. So once again, when the temperature goes below 12 degrees, and it's probably going to get down at about 8 o'clock tonight, once the sun goes down, it'll kick in and keep that temperature. Right, I'll show you around the rest of the place. We're also we've also realised we can use it to propagate seeds as well. So we're probably going to have a little table across here so that some of the seeds can, we'll sow seeds in here before putting them outside into the main greenhouse. But again, you can see what I've done over here. Sometimes I've had to put a bit of a jigsaw effect in the plywood because I just had it lying around really. I wanted to utilise stuff that I had lying around rather than go and buy new expensive stuff. That window faces south, so I haven't covered it up, whereas over here the window that used to be there, and there was a window there as well, hence the orange insulation that we saw outside, that's north facing, so I've covered those up just to improve the insulating properties of the hut. One last look at the chicks. There they are, nice and warm. They come out to feed and have a drink occasionally, but at the moment they're okay in there. So that's the Brooder Hut then. Wendy House bought for £30. We spent probably about probably £50 or £60 on it, getting it to this state. The brooder box was extra. I had the heat lamp and the thermostatic controls already, so we didn't have to spend any money on that. Bit of insulation, but as I said, most of the plywood I had lying around, so wasn't massive expense. I think all in all, including the initial outlay of £30 for the Wendy House itself, I probably spent about £120 on the whole thing. So we're pleased with it. The chicks are just coming out now. I'll just show you them. There they are, taking the chick crumb. So that's it for the Brooder Hut. We're really pleased with it, and I'll let you know how it goes. The chicks will grow up in here until they're about 4 weeks old, and then the beauty of this is that we're going to move them out of the brooder box. We'll take the brooder box out, and then the chicks can have the free run of the whole place. And I'll put some wire outside here so they can get out into some fresh air as well. So that's the Brooder Hut done. I'm just going to now just very quickly show you or give you an update on the Polytunnel chickens. Very quick added bonus. I thought while I've got the chance I'll just give you an update and we'll see how the Polytunnel chickens are doing. Answer is they're doing great. They are working hard, turning all of this wood chip and hay into compost ready for the tomatoes. They've been in here now, what, about 2-3 weeks, and already all of this stuff is being scratched around in, dug up, tilled quite nicely. They're just over there at the moment having a bit of a dust bath. There's one in there. There's the nest boxes. We've had to put this shade up because it does get quite warm in here. Even though we're still only in March, it's quite warm in here today. We've got that door open with the mesh on it. We've got this door open again with a mesh on it to keep them safe. But it is quite warm in here. We're still under avian flu restrictions, so they're not able to get out. So we put this up just to provide a bit of shade. Lots of water. I put the water up on bricks there to keep it clean. So that's a quick update on the Polytunnel chickens, and I'll do another one in about 3 weeks, just after or before they move out and the tomatoes move in. Hopefully we will be clear of the avian flu restrictions by then, fingers crossed, so they'll be able to free range again. But I'll make another video of that when that happens.